Hey everyone. FlutterFlow just released a bunch of cool new features and we'll talk about them right now and I will show you how you can actually use them and what are the benefits of them. So let's briefly see what this video will be about. So they have code expressions, which is actually a cool way to write a small code that will represent that will convert something. So let's say, for example, like you want a number to be added, like 10 plus in the number or something like that. So this will be small code expressions that will help you without writing a whole bunch of functions. So this will replace the custom functions when you have something very small to write to, and then or to do. And then we have the DataTable widget. This widget, it's like a data table. So yeah, it's like DataTable widget. So we have like tables right now in FlutterFlow built in, which is great. And then we have the Firestore Count queries. We didn't have that before. I think this is one of the essential things because before that we needed to use custom code in order to do this. But this essentially give you the count of the documents that you have outputted from your collection or collections. Depends on your queries, of course. Then we have Firebase App Check, which is actually protecting your app against, so to say, requests that are not coming from your app, but we'll dive into it as well. And then we have index and list operations. This is actually one of the first one, and this one I think is the one of the greatest with this update. And this is actually the ability to take a certain index from your list of items or documents. So yeah, this is great. This can be done with I think with the Apicos as well. I'm not sure. I haven't tried it, but yeah, we can try it as well, I think. And then this one, it's code exports with FlutterFlow CLI. We didn't have that before as well, so this is brand new. And the purpose for that is that you can actually download the source code, and then you can actually use it in your machine. So I mean, you can change the source code of your app. So this is the idea of it. And then let's see the actual update. So this is the actual update that released 11th of January. And yeah, let's begin and let's see what we have. So I made this page and I tried to put all the new updates, but let me show you the first one. So the first one, it's code expressions. And as I said, we have custom functions. And for example, we had this custom function that is just returning the image path. For example, let's say this custom function is just returning a data type here, or we have some other custom functions that is just returning a number, which is just for fun, just to see that the custom functions are very the code that is written is very like most of them is like one line. And now you can actually do this here. So how you can actually do this, let's say that we have a new text. So let's say that we have a new text over here, and in this text, let's say that we have so we have code expressions right now. We didn't have that before, now we have it. So let's click that, and when we click that, we have arguments. So normally, usually, you use arguments, because right now you can do it without arguments. This have to return string So if you want to use something, so let's say that you want to use FlutterFlow, let's say, for example, so FlutterFlow, and then you can say plus, and then you can say this is a string, of course, and then FlutterFlow plus, and we can say is great, for example. And then this should totally work. We can check it for errors. And then let's see, we have no errors over here. So this is great, but the whole idea is that this, for example, the name of it, so yeah, this create, so it's create. So the name of it will come from an argument at the end of the day. This is the idea. This is the whole idea. And if you click add argument, we have this var1. So this is by default, they put it by default var1, but of course you can change it. So you can change it to, for example, name, let's say. So you can change it with name, and this will be a string. Let's say that this will be a string, and this will be this can come from anywhere. So this can come from your Firestore data, or your API data, or your Supabase data, or whatever backend you're using. Or you can use, of course, local storage. So let's pretend, or let's use local storage, not pretend, but okay, let's use local storage. Let's use the name. So if we are using the name, then how we can write this? So we can write name. So the idea is that name is turning into a variable. So the variable, it's name, and then we can add or concatenate to name something else. So in this case, this will be name, this will be dynamic, this will come from argument, and then we have is great. So every time we change the local state in our case, because we're using local state, the name should actually dynamically change. This can be done in the same way you're using combined strings. So this should be the same. So if you use the combined strings, this should be the same. You can use it this way as well. And this is the preview, how it will actually look like. And also, there is one more thing that I wanted to show you. We have the default value, of course. I always recommend to put the default value, because you don't not get null values, because if you get null values, you get a red screen or gray screen. And then we have the return type. So the return type usually is the same. It's by default, it's string. And then we can say if it's a list or not. So we can also return list here. If we're getting a list, we can return a list. So here in this example, let's say that we have a list of cities, and this is coming from my local state as well. So let's imagine that we have list of cities, and then we can actually say that we want the list of the cities, and this would be strings. And then if we go over here, we'll return only the string. This will not be the list in our case. And we can actually say, let's return the second index, which is actually the third item from the list. So we can actually do this, which is great. But there is one more thing, and this will, as I said, this will return the third item in the list of this in the list of cities. But let's say that we can expand that a little bit further. This is one of the, we can do this right now out of the box, but let's expand this a little bit more. So what if we have an integer which is actually coming from some other place? So let's say, I hope I have an integer here, so counter, let's say, for example, and then this will be like index, let's say. So this can be the index. So this can be the index of the index that we want to display. So in our case right now, right here, we're taking a list and we're taking an index as the second argument. And we're taking it from the local storage right now. So every time we change, I haven't tried that, but in reality, every time that you change your index from the local storage, you should see another item over here. So this is actually great, and this should be dynamic. So this is like there are like a lot of opportunities for this, but this is like the two that I can think of. Of course, there are numbers as well, so you can, if we switch that to numbers, so let's say that we have two numbers. So let's say I have num1, and then this is an integer. So let's say I have num1, and this is an integer, and this is coming from. So in this example over here, we have num1, which is a number, integer, and we have num2, which is an integer as well. And we have two arguments. We're returning an integer, and we can say num1 plus num2. And we can actually say minus, or we can do any kind of math here. So that's great as well, because this is super simple. Just write the arguments, and then you can do the math that you need to. So it's super simple. Just click on check, and if you get the green button like so, then you can confirm it, and then you're good to go. So this is code expressions. I hope you learn it, and I hope that was enough for the code expression. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments so I can answer them, or maybe do another video about it. So let's continue. The second thing is that we have data type widget. So if we go to widgets right now, if you want to add some widget, we have a new widget, which is DataTable Widget. And then I already added this widget, so the widget is over here, and we can have the header. So we have edit header 1, header 2, and we have place holders. So how you can actually, this is your text, and if you get your data from the backend, like from here, you should be able to populate this with your own data. So how I did that, I have, for example, users data, list of documents, and then here I connected it with the list of the documents, and I connected it with the property name of username. So this is the new widget. This is how you work with it. And yeah, let's continue with the second one. It's Firestore Count queries. So this is something that, as I said, there's a new feature, and the idea is that I have, for example, users data again here. So I have it here, the users data, and if I want to count all the documents in my collection, or if I filter it with on my queries, so let's click over here, and right now we have users data, and we have documents. So if I click documents, we have number of items. So right now we have number of items, and this will actually give me my numbers of items in my collection, which we already had that. And the new thing that we have right now is that if we query something right now and go to edit query, this is the query document. We query some collection, and the query type is actually, we have the list of documents, we have single documents. So this new feature is that we have the count. So now, right now, we're counting the user's data. And if we go over here, and this is how we display it. So we go over here, we have the count. So click on the count and no further changes and confirm. So this will should actually return the number of the items that are returned from our query. So that's something that's great actually, because before that we needed to use custom code, or we needed to use code in order to do this. And fourth thing is that we have now Firebase App Check. So in order to enable Firebase App Check, you need to go to your Firebase console, and here on build, you have App Check. So click it over here, and then you can see this page. If you want, you can watch the video. They will explain you that App Check, it's something that it will actually prevent requests that are outside your app. So for example, if you're having some kind of manipulation of your profiles of your users. So for example, let's say that the user is changing their photo. Right now this is a request, and this is sent. Let's say that your backend is in Firebase. This is sent in Firebase, but what if you have already access, or you want to send this outside your app? So right now this is possible. You can send it outside your app and it will still work. But using App Check gives you the ability to only send requests from your own app, and not from some other place or some other code, let's say. So it's actually protection, and you can start it over here and you can use it. So when you start it over here, then you have to go to settings, and here you should have a new ability, which is App Check. A new integration is this one, Firebase App Check. Just enable it, and then just put reCAPTCHA site key, which is optional, it says. And you can write about this guide as well, how you can actually do it. But it's not very different to implement it at all. Okay, and then let's continue with the second one with the so it's we have index in list operations. So index in list operations, it's something great actually. This is the ability to select a certain index from your list. So this is how we did it, or no, actually delete it. Okay, so I rewrote it, but okay. I showed you already how you can do it with code expressions. And right now, if I have a new text over here, I can just say users data documents, and then I can say index item set index, and I have those options. So I have the first item, the last item, or a specific index. So if I choose a specific index, I can get specific value, and I can say 3. So this will, or 2, sorry. So this will actually return me the third item. So keep in mind, this is very important that in code everything starts with 0. So it's very important. If you want the third one, just write 2, and this will give you the third one. If you want the first one, you should write 0, and this will give you the first one. But if you want, this can be also dynamic. So you can take it from the local state, for example, and the index will come from some other place, which is great actually, because now you can. Why I had this error? Yes, so I will tell you more about the error that I came up with, because I think a lot of people will see this error. But yeah, So if you go to local state right now, for example, I have in the local state, I have a list of strings and those are cities. I will use the same list of cities. And then we have the option to item at index. So if I choose this option item at index, I can take the first city, the last city, or a specific city. So if I take the first one and save it, you can see right now I'm taking the first one. And I can also take the last one, or I can take, for example, let's say that I want to take the third one, which is the second index. And let's save this, and now it's working. So why it was not working before? Because if I choose user data, right now I should have the ability to map what item I want to use, and then I should be able to use the index. So first of all, I should be able to use the index. So let's say, for example, I want the first item from my documents. But right now, if I click confirm, this will actually return me the whole document. This will not return me a field from my document, because my document has, let me show you. So if I go over here, users data. So my documents have like 8 fields, and I cannot put the whole document inside a string. So that's why I'm getting this error. I talked already with FlutterFlow about this issue, and they say that they will fix it. But for now, just keep in mind that you will probably not be able to use indexes from when you're returning a list of documents. But as I said, they're working about it. So by the time you're watching this video, probably they will fix it. But the whole idea is that you will choose the index, and then later on, when you choose the index, there should be an option that you should be able to choose which field of that index you want to actually display. So yeah, that was index and list operations. And now we have code exports. The last one from this list is code exports with FlutterFlow clean. So this is actually advanced topic, to be honest. This will probably not be used by the most members. Also, it says that you need to have a paid plan in order to use it. And this is explain how you can actually use it. You have to download this package first, which is a brand new package. As you see, it's like a couple of days, 1-2 days ago, they were published. This package was published, and like I said, this gives you the ability to export your code from FlutterFlow, which is great. If that's what you want, then this is the package for you, and you have to go to your account, copy the API key, and then download and install the package in your computer, and then you can actually use it. And then we have the January design competition. So FlutterFlow are regularly doing competitions. They already had for a game competition, and I think they had a design competition, and this is, I think, the second one they do it. I hope in the future they will actually do something more of a code base. So let's say that they do a competition about some kind of custom code, like custom action or custom widget or custom functions. But yeah, that's my area, so that's why I want it. And then here they say that there are some resources to become a guru, a FlutterFlow guru. Of course, this is like 3 resources, but there are a lot of resources. So if you keep reading the blog and the YouTube channel of FlutterFlow, you actually, and this channel as well, you'll be a FlutterFlow guru. And then the last thing that I want to mention are the other improvements, which in many cases are some of them are actually better than the main improvements. And the first one is you added a new indicator to help you identify which variable is causing an issue in your app. So this is, let me zoom this a little bit, probably it's better. So this is something interesting. I haven't tested this, but I'm guessing that this will actually be good when you have an issues to identify which variable it's causing it. So that sounds great. I'm an API guy. I said like many times that. So that's a good improvement. Thank you, FlutterFlow, for that. And then you can display to web without search indexes. You can deploy, sorry. So I didn't know that you were not able to deploy without search indexes before, to be honest. But yeah, this is greatly appreciated because I don't use search indexes, for example. So yeah, I think this is great. And then we have we upgraded our web view index for better performance. This is something that I think it's because web view, it's actually a package. So if I go to if I go to the package, so I'm not sure, but I think this is the package that they're using. FlutterFlow is using this package, and they simply upgraded the package. I'm not sure which version they're upgraded to, but yeah, this is the idea. They upgraded the package, so this is the new package, the new upgraded package, and it says that it's better performance right now. It has better performance right now. Not the problem, but the users from the community wanted a long time ago that web view right now doesn't support JS code, JavaScript code, and with this upgrade, it will still not support JavaScript code. So keep that in mind. This is not coming, but probably with this improvement, but probably it will come in the future. And you can now drag the resize buttons directly in the app builder. So let's try that. It says that I can drag buttons from over here and then resize them. I don't see how you can actually do this, to be honest. Probably I'm doing something wrong, but it says that you can actually drag buttons to resize them. But I don't see how it is supposed to be done. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Probably I'm doing something wrong, and that's why I'm not able to. But that's it for today. That's it for this video. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you stay tuned with the latest updates from FlutterFlow. So thanks very much for watching, and take care.